Exercise number 3, the KOT or knees over toes calf raise. The knees over toes calf raise is the first exercise in Knee Ability Zero which directly improves the ability of your knees when they're over your toes. However, it's not actually your knees that will be creating the motion, it's still your ankles that will be lifting you up and down, while your knees will simply hold your pain-free level. By measurably addressing the ability of your ankles to handle whatever load your knees can, we complete a perfect foundation so that your knee gains result not only in improved knee function, but also in improved foot, ankle, Achilles, and lower leg function. While Knee Ability is most known for creating knee success stories, it also has a multitude of success stories for what lies below. Let's look at this final progression before directly addressing your knee movements themselves. How? Stand about an arm's length from the wall, and then gradually reach your knees over your toes to a comfortable level. Ideally, this will be far enough that your heels actually lift slightly off the ground. It's totally fine if you can't bend your knees much at first, and you're still on the route to success no matter what level you start at, because strength apparently radiates about 15 degrees. Meaning if you get strong at one angle, you get strength gains not only at that exact angle, but also at the 15 degrees of bend beyond that. For example, a minimal bend such as this below would still be productive. Don't criticize your current level, just realize that wherever you fall short now only means you could feel that much better by patiently progressing. From your pain-free level of knee bend, simply raise your heels up while still keeping your knees over your toes. Just like FHL calf raises, once it's easy to perform 25 consecutive reps with full ankle bend, to the point your heels come slightly off the ground at the bottom, you can begin rebuilding one leg at a time. This puts even more load into your ankle mobility and into the strength of your knee to hold the position. Like FHL calf raises, if 25 in a row with 2 legs is easy, but with 1 leg is too difficult, simply count your reps on 1 leg until burnout, then match on the other leg. Then switch back to the original leg and so on until you reach 25 on each side. 25 perfect single leg reps is your long-term goal. To recap, how far your knee remains over your toes at bottom and top of the exercise, plus whether you're on 1 leg or 2, determines difficulty. Why? I got lucky on this exercise and unwittingly solved 2 problems at once. Problem 1 was the need for a no equipment solution for your Achilles. You have 2 calf muscles, gastrocnemius, think belly of the calf, and soleus, which is lower and deeper. Here's a look beneath the surface to the soleus. Then notice below how the gastrocnemius overshadows the soleus visually. You have both lateral toward the outside of your body and medial toward the inside of your body, gastrocnemius muscles. And finally, let's look at the Achilles tendon in relation to the soleus and gastrocnemius. Your Achilles tendon looks pretty big, huh? Yep, it's the biggest tendon in your body. It is a very interesting phenomenon when you realize that as your muscles get smaller, your tendons get bigger. For example, your glutes are huge compared to your calves, but your gluteal tendons are small compared to your Achilles. Thus, your hips are your biggest source of power, while your ankles are your biggest source of springs. The knees are left in the middle, a perfect balance of both springs and power, or pain, as they are subject to ramifications from both your ankles and your hips. Ouch. Your soleus is more directly related to your Achilles health than your gastric is, but your soleus isn't worked as much as your gastric in a traditional standing calf raise. Fortunately, a bend knee calf raise prioritizes your soleus and handles this issue. For this reason, my gym used to be full of seated calf machines. Your gym has a row of bench presses. Mine had a row of seated calf machines. Before long, my gym was overrun. I was working from 4 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week, with no days off for multiple years in a row. More people needed my help than I was capable of handling in person, so I decided to become an online coach and take more responsibility. I quickly ran into the problem of what to do if your gym doesn't have a seated calf machine, and through much trial and error, the knees over toes calf raise was born. Little did I know at the time, I had also solved the bridge between ankle exercises and knee exercises. In step 4, you will directly address your knees, and in most cases this works just fine. However, the knees over toes calf raise already starts putting money in the bank towards your knee ability, so your progress will be smoother. In very sensitive cases, we have an option that strengthens the knees without even risking any painful movement, since you can monitor exactly how far you reach your toes. Before we go on, you should know that your body relies heavily on your ability in the knee over toes calf raise when putting all your weight on your leg to push off in a sprint, as well as in the rear leg just before jump takeoff, and again upon landing. Many Achilles and knee injuries happen in these actions, and the knees over toes calf raise works against these odds.